Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. 2025 Big Ten football preview. This is the last major conference we're doing it. SEC has been out for quite some time. ACC as well, Big 12, and now we're finishing up with the Big Ten. Now that there's 18 teams in the Big Ten. Oh, my goodness. So we're going to run through the conference on what we like, don't like. Win totals are going to be a big part of this show as well. So if this is your first time ever playing season-long plays, definitely don't put a big chunk of your bankroll out here. Remember, you're not going to see any return on this for if we get it off in August, not till December sometime, so 4+ months. This is not something that we want to put, our daily wager on. So if we have a good day, we stockpile some money, for sure. So like I said, nothing you want to put monster bankroll on. There is some really good plays here in the Big Ten for win totals. And national championship, we also got to play there as well. But should be a lot of fun. We'll roll through. We'll start at the bottom of the conference. Like I said, 18 teams worth in the Big Ten. Now, Purdue is definitely probably going to be at the bottom of the conference. 1-11-24. Barry Odom, though, coming over from UNLV. I think they win more than one game probably this season. But I don't expect too much here out of Purdue. Running back David Maccabee, and also Virginia Tech transfer Malachi Thomas. Quarterback Ryan Brown did transfer over to Purdue, but opted to return. So he's the front runner probably to get the start. It'd be the starting QB. He's not really that fantastic. Defense needs a ton of help. They gave up almost 40 points per game last season. They were god-awful. If they can get that thing down to 32-35, that's a big help. The problem is the offense, I don't think, can put up that many points, which is going to lead to a lot of losses there in West Lafayette. But the Boilermakers probably going to be at the bottom of the Big Ten Conference. Maryland at 17, 4-8 in 2024. It's a tough conference, man. If Maryland not known to be a football school here. Mike Locksley, the quarterback, the coach. Let's see. What are we going to see quarterback-wise? What do we have? Justin Martin and Malik Washington. Malik Washington probably, between the two quarterbacks, definitely more talent there with Washington, but, obviously a true freshman. Defensively did give up 36 points per game. They also allowed, 40-plus plays of 20-plus yards, so they give up a lot of explosives here. Maryland's going to be at the bottom of this conference. I don't think there's any question about that. Them and Purdue probably at the bottom. The Boilermakers and the Terrapins at the bottom. 16 Northwestern, 8-5 and 23, 4-8 and 24. Obviously things are not going their way there. Preston Stone at quarterback. Might be the answer for him. What does he get him, though? 4 wins, some to that effect. Don't expect much out of Northwestern either. Gave up 5 yards of play. They give up points. They don't score many points. They're a traditional Big Ten team that doesn't score much, but the way the Big Ten's been going lately, need to pick that up. UCLA, 15, 1-5 to start off last year. For Deshaun Foster, but they did win 4 out of their last 6. Last season going 5-7 overall. Tennessee Nico, the transfer out of Tennessee with all the shitstorm that brought as he tried to renegotiate more money. We do like Nico in this offense. I think they can get to 6 wins and be bowl eligible is what we expect here out of UCLA. I don't think they finish at 15. A lot of spots have them right around the 15 mark. In fact, UCLA over 5.5 wins plus money. Like I said, I think they have an excellent chance to get to 6 wins for UCLA. 14 Michigan State. What do we expect out of Michigan State? Probably nothing. You know what I mean? So let's see here. I honestly think Michigan State's going to be lucky to get 4 wins. 4-8, I think, is good. What do we got here? Quarterback Aiden Childs is back. Receiver Nick Marsh, who looks pretty solid. I'm surprised he's still there and didn't hit the transfer portal on that one there. Lost a few keys, lost some pieces on defense as well. Did give up almost 6 yards per snap, which is way too much. But Michigan State, I think they in a world of hurt is where Michigan State is in this one. Michigan State at 5.5 wins, I believe here. Give me 1 second, and I'll give you that play. Yeah, under 5.5 wins plus money. Like I said, I have a hard time looking at their schedule, figuring out how to get to 5. I think they end up at 4. Next one up, Rutgers at 13. Obviously, Greg Schiano's an excellent coach. It's hard to recruit in transfer portal. If you don't got money, it's hard to get guys in the transfer portal. And if you're not a big brand school, it's hard to recruit. And no question about that. Standout running back, Kyle Mangana is gone. This is a team here that's in big trouble, right? They got a lot of injuries last year on the defensive side of the ball. They were giving up over 6 yards per snap, which is obviously way too. If we're talking 5s, then it's way too much. 6, is definitely going to be there as well. We got what? Ethan, and I can't pronounce his last name. Ethan K. How about that? Threw for almost 2,700 yards, 18 touchdowns. That needs to definitely improve if Rutgers is going to make any noise whatsoever. Wisconsin at 12. How many times are we going to see Wisconsin down? Luke Fickell, who was fantastic in Cincinnati, the results have not come with him coming to Wisconsin. They can't seem to make up their mind what they want to do. Do we run it like we normally do, play good defense, or do we want to be wide open? That's been the issue. But hasn't had a lot of success there. 13-13 overall, 5-7 last year. And they have one of the most brutal schedules in the Big Ten as well. That's why they're down here at 12. Otherwise, probably a top 10 team here in the Big Ten. They average 22 points a game. They need to average 30. You got to average 30 now in college football. 22 is not definitely going to get it done, especially when your defense is not doing well. They did hold Big Ten opponents to 23 points a game, but they gave up a ton of yards. So could be a lot of hurt in there. In Madison. Number 11, Minnesota, PJ Fleck, quality coach, definitely there. So tried to get, approaching double-digit wins in 25, had a lot of turnover from that team. So Max Brosner, is going to be, a solid one-and-done season with the Gophers and left big shoes to fill under center. Redshirt freshman Drake Lindsay did get in a few games last year. Lindsey's going to be the question mark here. I honestly don't think he does a ton here. Tough chance to make a bowl game here for Minnesota, but that's probably what they're looking at. 10, Washington, Kalen DeBoer, gone, Jedd Fisch there. Jedd Fisch obviously leaving Arizona was a big deal. Washington's a much bigger program, and they're in the Big Ten, which is a lot more money, right? They didn't look great without Penix last year. They had issues all over the place. Special teams, defense, offense, definitely some trouble. Rising star quarterback, though, maybe Damon Williams does get the controls this season. 944 yards what he threw for last year, 8 touchdowns, ran for almost 300 yards as well. So revamped offensive line has definitely happened there for Jedd Fisch and for the Huskies. But probably right in the middle of the pack there, somewhere between 9 and 11. Number 9, Nebraska. I don't know. Dylan Raiola, by the way, for a couple of years was the number 1 quarterback recruit out there when he was out here in Chandler, Arizona. Then his family, obviously, they moved to Georgia. Things didn't go as well there. They went 7-6 in 24, and Matt Rhule will get this thing figured out. But Dylan Raiola, sophomore season, Dana Holgorsen is the play caller there. Is Raiola going to be able to lead this team to 35-plus points a game? So the defense in a little bit of transition, though, for sure. They did lose Tony White, who went to Florida State. 4 returning starters only on the defensive side, and they're all in the secondary. So everybody up front's definitely going to be a new starter. That's going to be the issue for this team. In fact, Nebraska for us under 7.5 wins was plus money. We went there as well. Next one up is number 8. Iowa is always there, even though they can't ever seem to score. They're about midway through the Big Ten here. Kirk Ferentz, obviously he can put things together in order to get wins, but they are ugly wins. The schedule is really tough. Iowa State, great team in the Big, not great. I mean, they're top 25 team. Wisconsin, USC, and Nebraska, and then at home, Oregon, Penn State, Indiana. All 3 of those could be losses at home. Tim Lester is going to be the offensive coordinator. They did get up to 27 points a game last year, so a lot better there in that one. They did lose standout running back Caleb Johnson. South Dakota State transfer Gronowski is definitely who they're relying on at the quarterback spot. Can they continue to put up 28-plus points a game? If they can, the defense has a chance there. You know that defense is always going to be stingy there in Iowa City. 7 USC. Lincoln Riley's in some trouble. Now, my personal opinion on this, and take it as you wish, Lincoln Riley was looking for a way out when Oklahoma decided that they wanted to go to the SEC for all the money. So instead of being the big fish in a little pond, he was going to be mid-sized fish in a big pond. Then he goes out to USC, and the Pac-12 collapses. So instead of being in the Pac-12, now he's in the Big Ten because it was a money grab for USC. What is Lincoln Riley going to do? Last year's team, 6-6, god awful. Quarterback Jordan Maeva is settled into the number 1 role now. We can get done with this Miller Moss crap. They did lose, a kid to Boise State, who was the number 1 recruit as well. Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane will be the receivers. They did lose Branch. Both the Branch kids are gone. The big deal has always been in a Lincoln Riley team is their defense. They gave up 34.5 points a game. 24-plus points a game. Riley, if he's got a quarterback, that team can be outstanding offensively. The question is always going to be on the defensive side of the ball. Don't score too quick. Just a little heads up there. Hold on the ball for a little bit longer. Run the ball a little bit more. Save that defense as much as you possibly can. Number 6, Illinois. They go 10-3. First, 10-win season in over 20 years. Rich Blayne, an excellent coach. There's a lot of good coaches in college football. Isn't it crazy? And all we do is complain about the ones in the NFL, it seems like. J.C. Davis at left tackle. Outstanding guy. The whole offensive line is back. Luke Altmaier's play took a step forward last season. The question is can it get even better? They lose Pat Bryant and Zachary Flanken as well. They get a couple of Wisconsin transfers. I don't love Illinois. I think last year they get to 10 wins, and they're kind of, how do I put this, happy with that. I don't think this is quite as big this year, but I think they finished at 9. It's kind of where they finished this season. Illinois over 8.5 wins was pretty sizable plus money. When we get back to Iowa as well, they were at 7.5 wins at plus money. We went over there as well. Number 5, Indiana. Now, obviously, they were fantastic last season, but the schedule was a big deal. They basically had one game to win, and that was against Ohio State. That didn't work out. 11 games was fantastic. They make the college football playoff. I don't think they're college football playoff worthy this season. They should be good. Fernando Mendoza, the new quarterback. They did pick up some linemen as well. Pat Cogan and Khalil Benson, and running back Roman Hemby to help out Mendoza there. And Elijah Surratt, 18 yards a catch last season. Big-time numbers, yards per catch on that one. Do return a lot on defense. So the team last year seemed to put up 40 at will. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case this season. Maybe they're in the lower 30s, but I think the defense is really where they kind of kick in here a little bit. Expect Indiana to be decent. I like I said, I don't think they're college football worthy this season on the playoff, but should be solid. Michigan at 4 had a good finish. They were, obviously they continue to beat Ohio State no matter where the game's at. They did beat Alabama. Sherman Moore looking like a good replacement there for Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, they're still in trouble. Bryce Underwood was the big flip. He was an LSU recruit for quite some time, and then the big donor from Oracle paid him enough in order for him to go to stay in Michigan, stay in state. Is it going to be a true freshman starting? Yes. Sounds like. So Jordan Marshall and Justice Hayes, nice running back, a couple of running backs you can rely on to kind of ease Bryce into this. We do like Michigan's win total, though. I think this kid is better than what we anticipate. I understand he's a freshman, but over 8.5 wins for Michigan, and they came in at the 4th spot. Number 3, Oregon. Dan Lanning always puts together an excellent product there. They were the number 1 seed overall for the college football playoff, but Dylan Gabriel couldn't bring it home. They made way too many mistakes in that game against Ohio State. And if you're going to continue to play man coverage against Ohio State, I promise you this, you're going to get burned again this year. You've got to play zone, make them work for it a little bit. Dante Moore is ready to try, take over the offense, the UCLA transfer on that as well. So was a 5-star prospect, hasn't kind of been fabulous yet. Makai Hughes, true freshman receiver, Decorian Moore, and tight end Kanye Sadiq will see some action as well. Revamped offensive line. Still, it's all about the defense here. So can the defense keep them down? They couldn't keep Ohio State down in the college football playoff, but most teams they can keep down. If they can keep them in the 20s, they're going to have an excellent chance to win. Oregon isn't one of those teams that just reloads as well. Number 2, this one I disagree with here, but most places have Ohio State at 2. Main reason is the quarterback. You got Lincoln Kiles and Julian Sand, the stud that was going out of California, that was going to Alabama. And then obviously Nick Saban retires, and now all of a sudden he's in Ohio State. I think if he ends up being the quarterback, Ohio State makes a run at the national championship. They're fabulous at basically almost every spot except for quarterback. Let's see here. Also, Jeremiah Smith with, Brandon Ennis, Cornell Tate. Then you got Purdue transfer Max Clare at tight end. Should be awesome as well. Then they've also got, 3 starters back on the offensive line. Obviously, they lose Josh Simmons, but he didn't really play that much all season as he tore his pectoral as well. They did lose a lot of talent on defense. Jim Knowles went to Penn State. I think that's a big deal. Matt Patricia, can he get this defense right from day one for Ryan Day? Here's the only thing. Penn State has to go to Ohio State. I think Ohio State wins. I am not relying on big game James Franklin to get any win on the road. I don't care how much talent he's got better than the other team. I don't think Penn State's really more talented. What they do have is a quarterback that's got a lot of experience, and that's where we get to the number 1 spot here. Penn State, obviously, Drew Aller coming back. I'm not a big Drew Aller guy. I don't think he's fabulous. He threw for 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns last year. He is a senior, though. We do have a few transfers coming in, Pena, Ross, and Hudson. Gives them some playmakers on the outside. Luke Reynolds, Nicholas Singleton, and Allen, probably one of the best backfields. So you're going to see them run the ball, I think, quite a bit, play good defense, which they always seem to do as well. Jim Knowles coming in as the defensive coordinator. I think that makes that he's one of the best D coordinators out there in the country. They should be high level defensively. The question is going to be the offense. Can they get anything done there offensively? I think they'll beat up on the bad teams, but do we really trust Big Game James in a big game to make the correct decision on what to do? I still don't. Unfortunately for Penn State fans, I think you get into the college football playoff, but you're not the number one overall seed like a lot of people are thinking, I think, in this one here. So if we go to the win totals for the Big Ten, let's run through all of those again that we've got. So we're going to start off with Nebraska under 7.5 wins. Wisconsin under 5.5 wins as their schedule is brutal. Michigan State under 5.5 wins. Ohio State under 10.5 wins. They go 10-2 and make it in, but that's where it stops on that. Penn State under 10.5 wins. Iowa over 7.5 wins. Michigan over 8.5 wins. USC under 7.5 wins. I think they finished actually at 7-5. UCLA over 5.5 wins. Illinois over 8.5 wins. I think they get to 9. Indiana under 8.5 wins. I'm not convinced quarterback-wise that Mendoza is the answer. Oregon under 10.5 wins. I think they finish at 10 wins. Ohio State finishes at 10 wins. Penn State finishes at 10 wins. Also, we did play Ohio State to win the national championship as well. There's another play we made in the Big Ten Conference. So if you like the content you're seeing here, this is exclusively an episode we put out on YouTube, so make sure you do subscribe to the channel here at Sports Bets for Free. Also, a few other things. Outlier, .com does sponsor the show. We'll have the link to check out a 7-day free trial on there as well. If you're looking to do the research by yourself, Outlier is a fantastic tool that's going to give you a lot of trends, great hit rate bets, all that kind of stuff. You will find the link in the comments section as well to Outlier and their app. Easy to use. It's going to show you a lot of different plays, stuff that should hit. There's no guarantee in life, but stuff that a majority of the time is going to hit every week in college football and then all the rest of the sports as well. Not only that, they're also going to give you the best pricing for that book-wise. So if there's a bet you really like, they're going to lay it out, whether it's on DraftKings, FanDuel, Bet365, or any other ones out there. They're going to show you where the best odds for your play are. A lot of people ask all the time, what's the best app to use when it comes to sports wagering? The best app to use is the one that has the best line for you. These are all basically, most are publicly traded companies. They're going to pay out. Use the one that gets you the best deal. If one place is -110 and one's -115, why aren't we playing the -110? Just because the other one you got to put money in different accounts to really get serious about this. You do not want to pay additional juice because it's easier to go play on FanDuel because you have an account balance there where you'd maybe have to deposit a few bucks on DraftKings. Don't fall into that trap. Use the best one for you, the pricing. Also, Discord channel is available for all of you out there for football, college and pro, basketball, NBA and college as well. Baseball, we're heavily into at the moment. Formula One, golf, all of that will be on the Discord channel. You'll find the WHOP, WHOP.com. Checkout link in the comments section as well. Make sure you check that out. It is well worth your time being on the Discord channel. Well over a couple hundred members as well, shooting ideas back and forth. If you like sports wagering and want some entertainment, trust me, that is an excellent place to be on the on our Discord channel as well. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.